Hey everybody, I'm Adam, and I just saw Underworld Blood War. Now, walking into this movie, I was fully prepared to kind of hate on it. But actually, it was a lot of fun. Who knew? I don't know, do these work? Like, I got them for Halloween a couple years ago, and I've never used them. I don't know. The plot is generally pretty simple. Like, everyone's out for Celine because they want her sexy body. Well, what's inside of her sexy body, which is her blood, which they can use to find out where her magical child is. The child showed up in the fourth movie. Who cares? They just want her kid. And the best part of the movie, all the action, it's all shot very well. It's well lit. The camera is steady. There aren't a whole lot of cuts. It's very engaging because the characters in the action scene actually have emotions going into it, so you actually care about the characters as they're fighting each other and punching each other in the face. Well, this is a Underworld movie, so lots of swords and guns and claws and fangs and stuff. And of course, Kate Beckinsale is in complete leather the whole time, and that is always fun to watch. But here's the main problem with the movie, is you really need to see all the other previous Underworld movies to understand this one. Especially 1, 2, and unfortunately 4, and 4 was really bad. Most of the characters in the fourth movie show up in this movie, and if you don't know who they are, you're gonna be a little bit lost for a little while. But to get around that issue, they had a 2-minute little flashback scene with Kate Beckinsale doing a narration of, this is how we got to where we are in this movie. And it's fine, they did a decent job of smash cutting all this stuff together, and like, this is the story. I think I can do it better and in shorter time. So I'm gonna give you all the information for the Underworld franchise, all 4 movies, even the third one, which you really don't need to watch at all, in 90 seconds. Get the clock ready. Okay, there we go. There's a guy named Corvinus. He's got monster blood. He's got 2 sons. One's a vampire and one's a werewolf. The vampires turn out to be like posh English assholes, and the werewolves turn out to be slaves. I guess because it was the second-born child and he gets shit upon. Whatever. Everything's really bad until Michael Sheen shows up and he turns out to be a werewolf. And he's like, this really sucks. I shouldn't be a slave. Then he leads his own Nat Turner rebellion while he's banging Bill Nighy's daughter, who looks like Kate Beckinsale, just to rub it in. Everything's fine. Kate Beckinsale gets turned into a vampire, there's more fighting, and then all of a sudden Corvinus' descendant, who's Scott Speedman, shows up out of nowhere, and both sides want him because of his got magic blood. So the Lycans bite him, and he's like, oh no, and then Selena bites him, and he turns into like this blue, hairy, werepire, hairy smurf type of thing, and Selena kills Bill Nighy. Then older vampires wake up, and it's like, what the hell's going on? This is bad, we're gonna kill you. So Kate Beckinsale finds Corvinus, the guy with the monster blood. He's like, I'm really sorry my descendants turned out to be assholes, so how about you drink my blood and get a power-up? She's like, oh yeah, sure. She drinks his blood. She gets stronger. Then they both kill the awakened older people, and everything's cool. Then humans get involved out of nowhere, start hunting both vampires and Lycans. Selena and Scott Speedman get kidnapped by this evil corporation. They put on ice. At some point, Kate Beckinsale has a baby while still on ice. Who knows? And then she turns out to be magic. Then Kate Beckinsale gets thawed, Captain America style, kills this evil corporation because it turns out they were all Lycans, and then hides her child away, sends her away. He's like, don't let anyone find you, don't tell me, I don't want to know, everyone's gonna be looking for you, I'm gonna save you, leave. And that's how we get to the 5th movie. Did I do it? Yes, I did! Oh, just barely too! Yes! Haha! Yes! Awesome! Nailed it. Now, if you already knew all this information, you'll probably really enjoy this movie. If you did not know that information, you'll probably still enjoy this movie. It's a lot of fun. It's only 90 minutes, and it doesn't feel like that at all. And in the good way, the movie feels like the perfect length. If you're a fan of these movies at all, go see it. It's a lot of fun. I would highly recommend seeing this movie. If you are a fan of the genre, go see this movie. And now for the spoilers. Everything after this, I'm going to be talking about what happens in the movie. You have been warned. Okay, you still here? Fantastic. So everybody in this movie wants Celine because of her blood, because through it they can find out where her cool hybrid magical Jesus baby is that can end the blood war. They think Celine knows where she is. Turns out she doesn't, by design, because she's smart, like, don't tell me, because I'll give it away. She has no clue as to where it is. Of course, no one in this movie believes her at all through the whole movie. Like, I don't know. She's like, I don't believe you. Pew, pew. No, I really don't know. I'm gonna shoot you some more. Like, how many times do I gotta say it? I don't know where my kid is. I'm a really bad mother. So more personal Grant Ward shows up and is like, hey, I know I'm the son of Tywin Lannister, literally, and the coven that we're a part of wants to murder you from the events of the 4th movie, but hey, we're in a tough spot, so we need your help. please help us. And she's like, I guess so, okay. She goes back to the coven that was in the 4th movie. The problem is they've got vampire Mrs. Robinson there, and she's having lots of kinky vampire sex with off-brand Jaime Lannister. And they're up to no good because they're all like, yeah, we want Celine's help, but really they just want her blood so she can have superpowers. But then all of a sudden there's like, oh no, betrayal and backstabbing, oh, and all these murdered vampires get pinned on Celine, who gets captured and then drained of most of her blood for Mrs. Robinson to a little glug glug later on. So then the good-looking Scott Speedman replacement shows up, saves Celine, while Tywin Lannister dies again, but in a much more heroic fashion than he did on Game of Thrones. At least his pants were on. Good-looking guy and Celine, they head north to some elven camp of vampires who look very, very elvish, very albino-y, in more so than normal vampires. Meanwhile, Bargain Bin Elizabeth Olsen, turns out she's a traitor and she's having sex with the evil Lycan guy who, is super generic and doesn't have any background whatsoever. She tells him, oh, everyone's in the north. We should go kill everybody up there. So all the Lycans head north to start kicking all these peaceful vampires' asses. And then Celine's like, I'm gonna kill everybody. And she does, for the most part, do a really good job until she takes on the main bad guy. He's like, we're gonna fight. I'm gonna kill you. She's like, I'm gonna kill you. You're talking about I'm the hero of this tale. And they fight, and they fight. And it's actually like a pretty cool, you know what? It's kind of like a little bit of the fight scene with Ra's al Ghul and Bruce Wayne from Batman Begins. It's on the ice. It's pretty cool. Kind of clever. The ice is being involved a little bit here and there. It's pretty neat. And Celine gets her ass kicked. Like, gets her very tight, leather-bound ass kicked and dies. And she dies. She slips under the ice and she straight up dies. Oh, meanwhile, the square-jawed McGee-looking guy, it turns out he's a prince and is descended from vampire royalty, so he's like in charge of things now. So everyone's sad Celine's dead. The hero man goes back to this coven and is like, I'm in charge, just in time, because Mrs. Robinson's like, I'm taking over. Haha, I wanted all the power because she drank Celine's blood and now has got superpowers, whatever. And it's like, I'm evil, ha ha ha. And he's like, no, I'm in charge, ha ha. And everyone sides with the good guy. And she's like, you shall rue this day, which just happens to be this day because the Lycans are rolling in 5. She gets sent to her room, and then she's like, I have a plan. I'm going to escape. And of course, she does because the giant battle's happening right now. So all the vampires are like, we gotta go. Everyone's like gearing up, montage of guns and weapons and ammo belts and getting ready for a fight. The Lycans roll in there with all their guns. The vampires are getting their asses handed to them because, it's daylight outside. So the werewolves do the really smart thing, start poking holes in the walls and then throwing vampires in the light. It's pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool. And so everyone's getting their ass kicked like, oh no, what is our hope for our heroes? And then all of a sudden, like this white streak, this white blur starts running around the castle. Like, oh crap, who is that? It's Celine, wearing basically Vin Diesel's coat from Triple X, and her tips are frosted, and she's somehow connected to the Speed Force now. She's just as fast as Barry Allen, but not as whiny. I love the Flash, by the way. Doesn't matter. She's like, by the way, I brought some help. And then all of a sudden, Vampire Elsa, for lack of a better term, rolls in with her vampire Vikings to reinforce our black-clad vampires to fight the werewolves, and everyone's fighting, and the tide's turning, and then Celine, she runs around really fast and kill. And then she's like, sees the main bad guy, who's just shrugging off bullets left and right, like he is like super powered, and no one knows why. Like Celine baits him off, like, yeah, look at how I'm all sexy and fast, ha ha ha. Then all of a sudden, like, hero guy sees that Mrs. Robinson's out and about with a sword, and is like, well, I gotta go fight Mrs. Robinson, while Celine takes on the big bad Lycan guy. The sword fight between hero guy and evil Mrs. Robinson is actually pretty decent, and it has like a pretty sweet, clever ending to it. Meanwhile, Celine is fighting this Lycan guy in a literal cage match. Bad guy's like, ha ha ha, because he had a monologue at some point. Why am I so powerful? I actually have your Scott Speedman on ice, and I drained his entire body of all his blood, and I've been chugging it ever since. So I'm like high on Scott Speedman, and I got all his powers. By the way, Scott Speedman, totally dead. Super dead. He's out of the franchise because he was killed off screen by generic looking Eastern European bad guy number 9 over here. So they fight, and she's like, what are you killed my love, who I haven't seen in like 3 movies. And then remembers that she's so super powered, and then runs behind him, and then gives the old Sub-Zero finisher move by ripping the dude's spine out of his back and like part of his pelvis. It was super graphic and awesome. Like, it was really awesome. Like, the very small crowd I saw the movie with cheered. It was a really cool moment. And then Hero Guy comes out and is like, look, it's your boss's head. I cut it off. Boop. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here. So all the werewolves just leave. They let the werewolves go because the war must go on. And then these two remaining vampire clans, the northern snow vampire elves, are now hanging with the European hot topic vampires. They're like, okay, so now, since there's like only, I don't know, 600 vampires left on the planet, we should really stick together because we're gonna get our asses kicked by those werewolves. And so then Selene turns out to be a new leader of this new ramshackled, stitched together coven. And then she's like, you know what? I think it's time I became a good mother. Maybe I should go find my daughter. Will she find her daughter? I don't know. Maybe that's going to be the next film. Possibly, probably, in all likelihood. Yeah, that's the next film. That's going to be the next film. So, Underworld Blood War. I recommend this movie. Really, it was a lot of fun. I would suggest, I mean, if you got time to kill, if you're looking for something to do, go see this movie. It was a lot of fun. And besides, there was a tiny cliffhanger at the end that really says, like, we could make more if you want it. And to be honest, yeah, I kind of want it. I would not mind seeing more of this. So please, go see this movie. Tell your friends. Kate Beckinsale, still stupid hot and still really good at this role. So please go see this movie. I think you'd have a good time, and I think they should make more of it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And also let me know what you thought of this movie. Please leave a comment below. Tell me your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Also, here's some fun things you can watch right now on YouTube. And there's some fun movies coming out soon. So expect another review pretty much soon, I hope. So until then, I'll see you guys later.